Oh, but this boat fire, Jen, what happened out
I know.
there?
We have to stop getting together after tragedies. I think you just need
Yeah,
to call me
yeah,
on like a Wednesday, and
you
we
are
just need to
on.
have some
Oh,
fun together
amen,
because
amen to that, Jen. You are so on with that, and we.
seems like we only get to talk when something awful happens. But yeah, this boat really an explosion, a fireball. They haven't confirmed an explosion yet, but this boat burst into flames on early Monday morning, about 3 in the morning, just after 3 a.m. our time. And Joe, I know you're pretty familiar with Southern California. You may know this area. It's the Channel Islands area, right
Yep,
off the coast,
yep.
in between Ventura and Santa Barbara. It's about 30 miles from the Ventura Harbor. And Santa Cruz Island is the largest of the Channel Islands. A lot of people go out there for hikes. They boat out there. There's a lot of dive adventures. And this group of 34 people decided to book this adventure. It was a 3-day dive, and they went all over the place, to Catalina, to Santa Cruz, some of the other Channel Islands, and they were docked when the boat burst into flames.
Just burst into flames like that. Who would have thought
Yeah.
and that's a pretty and correct me if I'm wrong, Jen. It's a pretty it's so beautiful. Would and forgive me if I'm being judgmental here, but an affluent area, so it's not like the equipment
No,
isn't.
definitely. Santa Barbara is one of the nicest places to live in California. It's the Central Coast. These boats were pretty well equipped. This was a company that owned the boat, the Conception, and apparently it passed inspection. There wasn't drugs or alcohol involved with any of the crew members. And they had a couple of different fire things as far as inspection goes. They got flagged for a faulty alarm system. They got flagged for like a leaky fire hose. That happened in 2014 and 2016 respectively. But otherwise, they fixed those violations and everything was up to code. The boat was was made of wood, so that could have made it more flammable. And what was kind of, I think, problematic is that the people slept. So the boat had different decks. The top deck is where the crew was, 5 members of the crew. They all were able to jump off. They were picked up by a Good Samaritan boat called the Grape Escape that came to try to help. And all 5 of the crew members are still alive and relatively injury-free. Some of them have some foot and leg injuries. But they were on the top deck. The galley is in the center of the boat, which is kind of unusual from what I understand. And then the bottom of the ship, that's where everybody was sleeping. So all 34 people who, at this point, we can probably anticipate lost their lives, were all sleeping on that bottom deck, including the 17-year-old girl who was out there celebrating her birthday with the dive expedition. So,
Was it a flash fire? It was like kind of a flash fire. It had to happen so quickly, Jen, huh?
They don't know exactly what caused it, but all accounts, everybody that I've seen, any of the talking heads say that it just happened so quickly that there was no time to actually get any of those people evacuated. And they did a Mayday call. That's how the Coast Guard even knew. It was so garbled. And by the time the Coast Guard got there, they started trying to put out the flames, but then the boat started to sink. And the most tragic thing is this was only 20 yards off the coastline. So had these people been able to get off, more than likely they would have been able to swim to shore. This morning, probably the latest update that I've seen is that they have recovered 25 bodies, at least located. They are still in the recovery process, so there's still 9 that they're looking for. And a lot of families yesterday were just all over the Central Coast between Ventura and Santa Barbara at the reunification centers trying to see if they could get information on their families. But it's tough. Other coroners from around the state of California are coming in to try to help ID these bodies.
Jennifer Horn, co-host of The Morning Answer on AM 870, The Answer, our sister station in Los Angeles with Brian Whitman. Give Brian our very, very best. Jen, you are the best. You're so good at what you're doing, and we appreciate it.
We're getting ready to go on the air, and I just saw Brian pop his head in, so I'm going to tell him you said hello.
Please, big hugs to you guys out there, Jen Horner.
Big
Thank you
hugs
so
to
much.
you guys.
We love you. Thank you so much, Jen.